September 2025 is shaping up to be a month of dramatic weather contrasts across the United States. As the seasons begin to shift, the nation finds itself at the crossroads of lingering summer heat and the first hints of autumn's cool embrace. This month promises a dynamic mix of weather events that will impact millions from coast to coast, setting the stage for a memorable transition period. The month kicks off with a major heat wave gripping the central U.S., sending temperatures soaring well above average. Residents in cities and rural areas alike will be searching for relief as the sun beats down relentlessly. Meanwhile, in the Northeast and Pacific Northwest, people are already enjoying an early taste of autumn, with crisp mornings and comfortable afternoons hinting at the season ahead. Drought concerns are mounting, especially in the lower Mississippi Valley, where heat and dry skies threaten agriculture and water supplies. Farmers are watching their fields anxiously as river levels drop and crops show signs of stress. The lack of rainfall is not only impacting local communities but also raising alarms about the broader implications for food production and water management in the region. Meanwhile, the clash of hot and cool air masses will spark severe storms across the heartland. Expect localized hail, damaging winds, and even the potential for tornadoes in vulnerable areas. These storms could bring sudden, intense downpours and create hazardous conditions for anyone caught in their path, adding another layer of complexity to the month's weather story. Later in the month, a powerful cold front with roots tracing back to a Pacific typhoon will sweep across the country. This dramatic shift will bring a much-needed cool-down and widespread rain, offering relief to parched regions and signaling a major change in the national weather pattern. This shift will finally deliver autumn to the central and eastern states, offering relief from the relentless heat. Trees will begin to change color, and communities will welcome the refreshing breezes and cooler nights that mark the true arrival of fall. The Atlantic hurricane season is at its peak, and while things are quiet now, exceptionally warm ocean waters could fuel rapid storm development later in the month. Forecasters are keeping a close eye on the tropics, as conditions are ripe for sudden changes and potentially dangerous storms that could threaten coastal communities. The Pacific is also active, with storms near Hawaii and Mexico being closely monitored. These systems have the potential to impact weather patterns far beyond their immediate areas, influencing rainfall, wind, and even temperature trends across the western United States. September will bring heat, drought, severe storms, a major pattern change, and the looming threat of tropical cyclones. From sweltering afternoons to sudden downpours, and the ever-present risk of hurricanes, this month will test the resilience of communities and challenge forecasters to stay ahead of rapidly evolving conditions. Stay tuned as we break down what to expect, region by region. We'll explore how each part of the country will be affected, what risks to watch for, and how to prepare for whatever September has in store. Let's dive into the details and see what this remarkable month has in store for the United States. Early September brings a dramatic temperature divide across the U.S., setting the stage for a fascinating weather story. A massive heat dome will send summer-like temperatures surging from the southern plains into the Midwest, with cities like St. Louis and Chicago seeing highs in the 90s. This heat wave will make daily activities challenging and could lead to increased energy consumption as people try to stay cool. The lower Mississippi Valley will endure even more oppressive heat, with extended stretches near 100 degrees. This relentless heat can be particularly taxing on agriculture, stressing crops and livestock, and potentially impacting yields. Meanwhile, the West Coast will be under a cool, damp regime, thanks to a persistent low-pressure trough pulling in Pacific air. This cooler weather will be a stark contrast to the heat in the central U.S., bringing relief to residents but also potentially disrupting outdoor plans. California, Oregon, and Nevada will see below-normal temperatures and increased cloud cover. This cooler, cloudier weather will be a welcome change for some, but it may also lead to increased heating costs as people try to stay warm. The Northeast and Great Lakes will enjoy a comfortable, seasonable start to the month, with highs in the 60s and 70s. This pleasant weather will be perfect for outdoor activities and enjoying the early signs of fall. This sharp temperature contrast isn't just interesting, it has real impacts. Energy demand spikes in the heat, crops and livestock are stressed, and outdoor activities out west are affected by the chill. These varying conditions highlight the diverse challenges faced by different regions. The central U.S. bakes, the west chills, and the northeast finds a pleasant middle ground. This juxtaposition of weather patterns across the country is a testament to the complexity of our climate system. It's a vivid reminder of how one country can experience two seasons at once. This phenomenon underscores the importance of understanding and preparing for diverse weather conditions. The atmosphere's complexity is on full display, showcasing the dynamic and ever-changing nature of our weather systems. Prepare for a month where your weather could be wildly different from your neighbors a few states away. This variability can make planning activities and travel more challenging but also more interesting. Let's see how this temperature battle shapes the rest of September. Stay tuned for more updates as we track these fascinating weather patterns. The central U.S. faces a growing drought crisis, one that is intensifying with each passing week and threatening the very foundation of America's agricultural heartland. Relentless heat and a persistent lack of rainfall are drying out the soil, leaving fields and pastures parched and vulnerable. The lower Mississippi Valley has become ground zero for this crisis, with extreme temperatures and almost no rain forecast through the middle of the month. Communities here are bracing for even harsher conditions. Flash drought conditions threaten to devastate crops, reducing yields and putting the livelihoods of countless farmers at risk. Livestock in states like Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas are under increasing stress as pastures dry up and water becomes scarce. Rivers are dropping to record lows and the risk of wildfires is rising sharply. Water resources are being stretched thin, with reservoirs and streams shrinking, and farmers struggling to keep their animals hydrated. A stubborn high-pressure ridge is not only driving up temperatures but also blocking much-needed rain from reaching much of the eastern U.S., worsening the drought's grip. Across towns and cities, lawns are turning brown, gardens are wilting, and even backyard plants are struggling to survive in the relentless sun. Reservoirs continue to recede, exposing cracked earth and shrinking ponds, as the dry spell drags on with no end in sight. There is hope that a late-month cold front could finally bring some relief, but until then, the drought is expected to intensify, putting even more pressure on communities and ecosystems. The next few weeks will be critical for agriculture and water supplies, as farmers and local officials monitor conditions and prepare for the challenges ahead. Vigilance and conservation are more important than ever, as residents are urged to use water wisely and prepare for the possibility of continued drought. The story of drought in the heartland is still unfolding, and the resilience of these communities will be tested in the weeks to come. Where hot, humid air meets cooler, drier air in the plains, severe thunderstorms are primed to erupt. Recent tornadoes in the Oklahoma Panhandle and hail from South Dakota to Texas show the atmosphere's volatility. The threat continues for areas like eastern Colorado, western Kansas, and the Texas-Oklahoma panhandles. Expect damaging winds, large hail, and a low but not zero tornado risk, especially in late afternoons and evenings. Instability from surface heating and upper-level wind shear are fueling these storms. Residents should stay alert for warnings and be ready to take shelter. The severe weather threat will persist as long as the temperature contrast remains. While storms can be destructive, they may also bring much-needed rain to parched areas. The plains are in for a turbulent, double-edged weather pattern. Precipitation in early September is as divided as the temperatures. A vast stretch from the lower Mississippi Valley to the east coast will stay dry, shielded by high pressure. Florida is the exception, with daily thunderstorms bringing localized downpours. Out west, a trough brings cool, wet weather to the Pacific Northwest and northern Rockies. Welcome relief for wildfire concerns. The Central Plains are the transition zone, with hit-or-miss storms offering only temporary relief. The east's dryness will worsen drought, while the west's rain could cause localized flooding. This have and have-not pattern highlights how one system can create opposite outcomes across the nation. For many, the rain will be too little, too late. Mid-September brings more of the same. A stubborn high-pressure ridge keeps the central U.S. hot and dry. The plains and Midwest will see little relief, with drought conditions worsening. The eastern seaboard stays dry but avoids the worst of the heat, while the Southwest enjoys cooler than normal weather. The Rockies and north-central plains may see some showers, but most of the country remains locked in this divided regime. The persistence of this pattern means impacts, like water shortages and stressed crops, will only grow. Relief is on the horizon, but for now, the heat and drought hold firm. The nation remains weather-locked for another week. Relief finally arrives in late September, as a powerful cold front sweeps across the country. Energy from a Pacific typhoon helps break the heat ridge, sending cool, crisp air into the central and eastern U.S. Expect a dramatic temperature drop, with the first frosts possible in the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. The West warms up as the pattern flips. The front brings widespread soaking rain, vital for drought-stricken areas east of the Mississippi. This marks the true arrival of autumn, easing energy demand and changing the landscape. It's a striking example of global weather connections. A typhoon in Asia leads to jackets in Chicago. The long-awaited pattern change is here. September is the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, but the basin is unusually quiet, for now. Record warm ocean waters from Africa to the Gulf of Mexico are primed to fuel rapid storm development. Meteorologists expect activity to ramp up after September 20th, with the Western Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico as key hotspots. Any storm that forms could intensify quickly and threaten the U.S. with little warning. The quiet is likely temporary. The most dangerous part of hurricane season may still be ahead. Coastal residents from Texas to Maine should review their hurricane plans now. The Atlantic's sleeping giant is likely to awaken soon, with plenty of fuel to work with. Stay alert and prepared as the season's most active phase approaches. Don't let your guard down. While the Atlantic is quiet, the Pacific is stirring. Tropical storm Kiko north of Hawaii is weakening and won't directly impact the islands, but it's sending large swells and dangerous rip currents to Hawaiian beaches. Beachgoers should heed local warnings as surf conditions remain hazardous. Off Mexico, a new system has an 80% chance of developing into a tropical storm or hurricane in the coming days. Warm Pacific waters are fueling this disturbance, and models show a range of possible tracks. Some scenarios bring rain to the U.S. Southwest, while others send the storm out to sea. The situation is evolving, and close monitoring is essential. Even distant storms can have real impacts, from surf to flooding rains. The Pacific's tropical season is heating up, and the next week could bring surprises. Stay tuned for updates as these systems develop.